off. Sound off. Hi, Cameron. Good morning, Cameron.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Good
morning.
Morning.
Hey, so I love this team, man. I love Doug Christie. I'm by no means a sneaker fan. I couldn't break down X's and O's if he wanted to, but I've loved this team for 30 years or however long I've been in Sacramento. And when they lose, nobody gets pissed. Doug Christie, I love him, but we need an authoritarian coach, man, who just doesn't take any crap, man. I think this team is full of guys who got the bag and they're just good to go. There's no emotion. It sucks, man. And as a casual fan, which I think makes up most of us, they don't get pissed when they lose. Everybody loves to light the beam, but when the game starts and it doesn't go their way in the first 7 or 8 minutes, they're like, F it, man, whatever. That's why they either score 80 and get their ass kicked, or they score 160, because when everything's good, everybody's good. But when it's bad, no one gets pissed, nobody gets angry, no one wants to step up. They just kind of put their head in the sand and go away, and it sucks, man.
I agree. I agree with them. I think a lot of fans feel that way. They're out there. Their fans are working their butts off, buying tickets, going to games.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I think over time, what I've realized, I think we've all done this. It's like, if you're really emotionally invested in a team and they lose, it hurts. So you're watching on TV or you're at the game, and then you might see, why is he hugging that guy? Why are they laughing after the game? Why are they exchanging jerseys? It's a little different, but then right after the game, like what we don't see, and I'm not saying like people are throwing chairs in the locker room, but maybe they are. Maybe there's some harsh words going on. Maybe, but even if that's happening, that's giving this team the benefit of the doubt. I'd like to see more of that where we do see it.
Right.
On the court, where, again, the stuff we said when it was Phoenix, when Phoenix beat them and Sabonis got tossed to the ground and the elbow to the neck. Again, you don't have to fight, but you could. You could also get in the face. You could also try to start something. You're like, that's not cool. Doesn't even matter who it is, your best player, your worst player. Stand up for them. Last night, the Detroit-Minnesota game. Minnesota had 3 different instances where they felt like Detroit's disrespecting us. They stepped in. Both sides kind of went after it. After that, Minnesota annihilated them.
Mm-hmm.
It woke them up.
Yep.
What will it take to wake them up? And that's what I think is a fair question.
And the only problem is, the scary thing is that there may be nothing to wake.
Yeah, that's true.
It might just be who they are.
Because it's like, oh, this loss will get them. Will it? Which one? I could point to 10 of them where you go, well, that's embarrassing. That's unacceptable. This is a 30-point loss. Well, there's not one of those. There's about 8 of those.
And how long have we, how many years have we been saying Kings need dogs?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, to your point, Minnesota outscoring the Pistons, who were leading for much of the first half. In fact, they were up 34-20 on the Timberwolves in Minnesota. The Wolves outscored them 69-44 in the second half.
Yeah. The other part that Cameron made that I don't think is far-fetched or wrong, but I think he's like, we need an what did he say? Authoritarian? I can't even say it. A coach that's going to be intense.
Yeah.
That's going to push around. I think Mike Brown was more that way.
Yes.
And then it was like, well, he lost the team. All right. Doug Christie comes from a little bit more of a positive realm, but also Doug will get after him. Mm-hmm. I think there's a little bit of a reflection of the team. Like,
I could, yeah.
If you had the harshest yeller at them, I think they're.
This is what we're
the
talking about.
softest gloves on them. I don't think that works either.
We're at the point where, and you just know what's going to happen. Doug is going to be the latest sacrificial lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's soft.
Okay.
Doug's a lot of things.
Yeah.
He might be bald. His taste in grapes might be questionable. He ain't soft.
Right.
No part of Doug Christie is soft. So.
Yeah. I mean, yelling at that group, is that going to work? Maybe not. Probably not. I think this is who they are, which is frustrating for any coach.
Yeah, I've done this show I've done this for almost 25 years now, and this iteration of the show for a long time, and still to this day, the take that I get killed for the most was when I said that the Kings need to trade anybody who's been on the team longer than 3 years and just start over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really honestly starting to kind of go back to that. Like I wonder what if it's like one of the movies. What is that movie where like the demon gets passed from person to person to person to person by touching him or something or walking by him? Like
Fallen?
Something like that.
It was with Denzel.
Yeah. Yes. That's exactly it. As a matter of fact, what if that's it? What if there's because I don't think there's ever been a Kings team that started with completely new players year after year, year to year. Like, what if it's just like this thing that started in '85 when they built the team on like a burial ground or something, and then someone cursed them, and then it's just passed through generation. Like, I'm really starting to think crazy stuff like that. The sad thing is, dude, and not to like. The only way anything is ever going to get done around here, the only way any real change is ever going to be affected is if fans get so fed up that they start making noise and unifying. That's the only time anything's ever happened, is when a small group of people unify behind one common cause. Because here's what's on the table for you guys. They're either going to miss the playoffs entirely or they're going to make it. Either way, they're almost certainly not going to have their first round pick. So you don't have that to build on. By the way, San Antonio, who's going to be winning championships sometime around 2031, has the Kings pick swap, which we couldn't even get back in the Fox trade. Your biggest piece in a rebuild, De'Aaron Fox, you let go for the worst contract in the NBA. And now in the offseason with no first round pick, they will probably make a move or two here and there. DeRozan, who knows? Sabonis is going to, according to Sam and others, is going to want some clarification on the direction of the team. You hear Vlade. I don't buy Vlade's not going to be the next GM. I wouldn't, but Vlade's got a voice. They're probably going to fire Monty, and but it's going to be a reload, not rebuild. It's going to be in their mind reload, not a rebuild. And until they put on their big boy and their big girl pants, in my opinion. So they put on their big boy and big girl pants and say, okay, we need to just gut this thing. We need to gut this thing, and there's no shortcuts. We need to build from the ground up. Bring in a young authoritarian coach, somebody who can teach these guys and create. I swear to God, Jason, I believe that this fan base would actually enjoy a 32-win, young, hungry, diving all over the place, random blowouts on either side because they're young and unpredictable like Houston was 2 years ago. I think this fan base would enjoy that team more than they enjoy this team. I could be wrong. I don't think I am.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. 32 sounds a little bit more optimistic. Sometimes when you gut it, it's like really, really bad.
Sure.
I mean, if you're talking about full gut. But I would go around like just in general, and that I don't think this is exclusive to Vivek. I don't think owners like to do that.
They don't.
And it could be the right way. I don't think it's foolproof that it's the right way, though. That's the problem. There's some examples that it's worked for, but you can also look, the Kings were in the lottery for years. Mm-hmm. They drafted wrong.
Yes.
You got to get that part right, no matter where you draft.
Yes.
30th or 2nd.
That's right.
But like they made some colossal mistakes when they were bad.
Yes. They probably had the worst drafting stretch over a 7-year period of any team in NBA history.
And they stayed in the lottery. And so a lot of teams that are in the lottery, it's not a 1 year, hey, they're just there for a year and they're gone. Like, I mean, we could be talking multiple. I mean, the thought sounds good, like tear it down, be bad for a year, and then you're back. Sometimes, but you also might be there for like 7 years.
You might
8
be.
years.
But let me ask you this. I feel like sometimes you have to take emotion out, and yes, you can't account for luck. But if you had to lay percentage odds, which is more likely that this team is currently constructed with some moves around the edges is going to compete for a championship someday, or if you completely gutted this team, loaded up on draft picks, and let the chips fall? I feel like there's more of a chance at competing for a title because I don't think there's any chance this team will compete for a title.
Yeah, probably
zero
more, but I think that both percentages are low.
I agree with you.
And so then if you've got a business, you don't want to be bad for. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying it's the right way. I just think if you pulled a lot of, like Phoenix may need to do it, but I don't know. Based on what Ishbia has said, it's like no, we got the best roster. Like I can't imagine them doing. A lot of teams don't do it.
Can I say something too? I know we got a break. You know what? Sometimes fans don't know what the hell they're talking about. And sometimes radio hosts don't know what the hell they're talking about. I can promise you this, in Oklahoma City 4 years ago, before the Shea trade, I'll bet you Oklahoma City sports radio and the fans were like, what is this? This is garbage.
Right.
We went from Harden and Durant and Westbrook, and now we're dealing with this. What is Sam Presti's overrated? La, 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 la. That's where you have to find somebody. You have to find the adult in the room to come in and make the tough decisions and be like, look, you can't run this team based on the whim of the fans or the owner or anybody else. You have to do the smart decisions, and you compile smart decisions. In the end, you improve your own. Yeah, exactly. We'll take a break. When we come back, let's go through those standings. Let's go through